All right, shalom. These the brothers in Mississippi. We're the brothers in Mississippi, the GMS Mississippi camp. And we'd like to give, first and foremost, all praises to Yahawah by Hashem Yawahshi. Double honors to the elders that rule well, which is the elders of GMS. Ain't nobody else out there an elder, okay, Nathaniel. And salutations and honors to you brothers out there that's doing the work in truth and sincerity. All right, the topic and lesson we're going to do today is on how the so-called Latinos and so-called Hispanics are Israelites. Also the Native American tribes too, but we're primarily focusing on the so-called Latinos and so-called Hispanic, Spanish-speaking tribes. All right, and the reason why we're doing this lesson is because you have a lot of heresy out there that's really just coming out of nowhere, man. I mean, these guys, a lot of them used to be in GMS, but they got kicked out because they weren't right. So now they formed this Legion of Doom to try to come against GMS, man. But through the spirit of Yahawah, we're going to flood all these lies. We're going to burn all this stuff up, man, through the spirit of Yahawah. All right, so the first scripture we're going to start off with is Romans 3:3. Because who gives a fuck if you niggas believe anyway? You know, first of all, you're not a part of the elect. Because the elect don't have the truth, man. All right? So that's really what it's all about. So go ahead, brother.
It's Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
Right. So for what if some did not believe? So what, you don't believe that so-called Mexicans are Israelites? That so-called Puerto Ricans are Israelites? Who gives a damn about your opinion, man? Yahawah said he's going to perform the thoughts and the intents of his heart. He made them to be his people, man. All right? So you're going to have to deal with it. And in the kingdom, you're going to deal with it. And you're going to have your head down because you got destroyed on this side for teaching those lies, man. All right? You niggas going to get a horrible death, man. And I'm talking about all you niggas, man. And right now, I'm looking at Batach, man. Fuck you, man.
And the Most High going to bring you down by the hands of them so-called Israelites you hate.
Yep.
It's going to be a so-called Mexican that the Most High going to have chasing you. It's going to be a so-called Puerto Rican the Most High going to have chasing you.
Exactly.
Those are my brethren whom you call heathens, man. But you look to a Hamite and have compassion toward him because he's dark-skinned.
Yep.
He has a better chance of being an Israelite than a so-called Hispanic.
And that's what these niggas saying now, that the fucking Zulu, what was his nigga name? I think his name is Ahai or something. You ain't Israel, man. You might be a fucking Hamite. I think you an agent. But this nigga saying that Hamites, the Zulu tribe, the tribe of Gad. Man, fuck you too, man. And that's right, we saying all these so-called cuss words, cause to hell with you niggas, man. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Romans 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Right, because when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, it says, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So you can speak against this all day, man. At the end of the day, this truth gonna stand, man. It don't matter about your opinion. Many are deceived by their own vain opinion. And Batach used to bring that out all the time, man. But to hell with you. And we ain't responding to you niggas, man. Because the scriptures say, speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words, man. So don't even reply back to these niggas on the comment board, man. These niggas agents. Fuck these niggas, man. Go ahead.
Verse 4. God forbid. Yet
Right. Hell no. Because this truth don't stand, man. So at the end of the day, Yahawah, and that's his name, whom you niggas learn from the elders, all right? At the end of the day, he's going to gather all the 12 tribes together and inherit them like he did from the beginning. And that's going to include the so-called Mexican, the so-called Puerto Rican, so-called Dominican, and not just the ones with so-called Negroid descent. And let me say something too, it's a lot of them that don't have so-called Negroid descent that's fucking darker than me. You stupid ass niggas. I've seen them for myself. Okay?
And the scriptures say that the Spirit bears witness that we are the sons of the Most High.
And the Spirit was gonna get that.
Come. But that further proves that the Most High ain't dealing with no other nations, man.
Yep.
And those men of the Lord who have taken this book and the Most High have supped with them, so to speak, those are the ones that you see in the forefront. Those are the brothers that you see preaching this word, man, spreading this gospel, spreading the good news.
Exactly.
It ain't no Hamites, it ain't the so-called white man, it ain't no gook. It's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans who originally lived upon this land, man.
Yep. And those are the only ones that he gave his name to, and his spirit to. That proves that those brothers you see out there that's teaching this truth, that's not so-called Negroes, that are so-called Latinos, so-called, because that's not who they are. They Israelites. That prove they are Israelites, man. Because the Lord ain't finna give this truth to a heathen, man. All right, but if you're not spiritual, you're not gonna get these spiritual things that we dishing out, man. All right, you're just gonna get cut and ultimately destroyed. Go ahead.
Verse 3 again. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written.
Yep. That's it on that. Unless you want to read the next verse.
I'll finish verse 4.
Okay.
As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Right, and we gonna be justified. Why? Because we teaching the truth, man. This is the absolute truth, man. It ain't nothing else out here. All right. So the point is, man, they are Israelites, and that's the topic we finna get into today. Okay, so you got something that you're gonna get done? Okay. Well, the first thing I want to get, can you give me a Deuteronomy 33 and 13? And we're gonna read it all the way to verse 19.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 13. And of Joseph he said, Blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that coucheth beneath.
Right, and when it says Joseph here, it's talking about the so-called Puerto Ricans. All right, because Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom, and when Joseph's sons were blessed by Jacob, Ephraim had got the principal blessing. He got the top blessing. All right, so when it's saying that Joseph here, it's talking about the so-called Puerto Ricans, and it's talking about that land of Puerto Rico. All right, and that's a beautiful land, man. It's very fruitful. It has a lot of exotic fruits that you can't have here in North America.
And you've been there.
Yeah, and I've been there for myself, and I've seen it. And ain't no way in hell, man. I mean, we gonna smash this shit to fucking hell, man. Cause that's our people, man. And you niggas don't gotta like it. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck if you do like it or not? Me and this brother, the brother behind the camera, we went to a so-called Mexican club. Actually, damn near all the tribes is there. We went there Saturday. And ain't no way a damn heathen dance like that, man. The point is, you niggas ain't spiritual, man, and Yahawah ain't dealing with you. That's the point. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 14. And for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun,
right,
and for the precious things put forth by the moon,
right, because you have what's called tamarind fruit, you have star fruit, you have papayas, you have all these different exotic fruits that they grow over there, man. Not to mention just the land itself is beautiful. You have certain waters that they glow at night because you have the fish that glow. And the island is so fruitful, it's actually people that move from America that really don't got no place to stay out there, and they living over there. They homeless, but they living off the land out there, man. That's how good that land is, man. So that's what this prophecy is talking about. Show me a damn African nation in this, or somebody else, because it ain't there. That's who was talking about, Ephraim, who you call Puerto Ricans, man. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 15. And for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills.
Right.
And for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof. And for the
right, and they used to have a lot of gold out there. It used to be a lot of gold, rubies. It has a lot of natural resources still. That's why America claimed it as its commonwealth. That's why you don't need a passport to get over there, because it's owned by America now. But
the land itself Puerto Rico, which means what, a rich port,
Rich port.
rich land, rich area, basically.
Yep.
Cause that's where they went and transferred after they excavated, so to speak, the riches and the gold from that land.
Yep. And they raped the hell out of it. All right. So we know what this is talking about, man. Because the Lord gave us a spirit to break this down. We didn't get it, and by the way, we didn't get it by ourselves. And guess what? Elder Ariel is right. He is right. The elders of GMS are right. Because that's what this is talking about, man. Go ahead.
And the scriptures say the prophets have been since the world began. So the prophets are upon this earth at this present time. Somebody's right and somebody's wrong. And a lot of guys out there speaking madness, and it's evident that you are not the right ones.
Exactly.
You know, the scripture talk about how the dog is turned to his vomit again, and then you become 10 times worse. All right, it's verse 16. And for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof, and for the good will of him that dwelt in the bush, let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren.
Right, and it said, can you read that about the goodwill of the bush?
And for the good will of him that dwelt in the bush.
Right, and when you go into that story, there was an angel of the Lord, but then when you get even deeper into it, really it was Yahawah that dwelt in that bush. All right, so that's our people, man. And Yahawah was there when them damn Spaniards did what they did. That's why Esau's finna get fucked up, man. Okay? And then you got something? All right, you read the next verse? It said, separated from his brethren.
Yeah. And for the good will of him that dwelt in the bush,
right,
let the blessings come upon the head of Joseph and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren.
Right. And when you go into that story, that happened. You had Joseph, which was Slacky. Joseph, which was one of the sons of Jacob, he got sold into slavery by his brothers. All right, but then when you get even deeper into it, it said Joseph, let the blessing be upon the head of Joseph, who was separated from his brethren. Joseph represents the northern kingdom, man. All right, and just how Joseph was separated from his brothers, you had the kingdom of Israel. All right, or the kingdom of Ephraim, they were separated from the other tribes, man. So I mean, so that was similar to that, man. All right, and you seen when the Mosai had it to where Joseph was able to see his brothers again, he fucking shed tears, man. And then his brothers was shedding tears, like, you know, when they found out it was him, they couldn't recognize him. You know, because he looked like an Egyptian by the clothes he was wearing. And we was all, you know, dark back then, so we was able to blend in with him. But, hey, that's how we feel today, man. When you wake up to this truth and you find out that, shit, you know what I'm saying, those are our brothers. You know, you be, you know, hey, you might shed tears, man. You know what I'm saying? Because those are our people, man. You know? And then you see us all in this fucked up condition. You see them in the messed up condition they in. They see us in the condition we in. But then you come to this truth and realize, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? That's family, man. All right? The Lord is finna gather us together, man. He's finna get us the hell up out of here, man. All right? And that's what we waiting for. The Lord to gather all the tribes together and we put us back in our land, man. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns.
Right, and Elder Tahar went into that. That was basically going into the satellite. All right, the unicorn, because unicorn means one horn. All right, and then you had the internet. These videos going throughout the whole world, man. All right, so you're gonna have the Northern Kingdom. They gonna wake up. The elected them is gonna wake up, man. All right, go ahead.
With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth.
Right, and so that's how the Lord is gathering Israel as through the internet. But also, you had Ephraim, which is the head tribe. They led the rest of the tribes over here when they was coming over here, man. Why? Because they're the head tribe. All right? And that's the reason why the Lord, he's waking up Judah first. Then he's waking up Ephraim, and Ephraim is going to gather the other tribes, man. That's how the Lord is doing it, you know? Go ahead.
With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth.
Right.
And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh.
Right. Can you jump to Genesis 49 and 22?
Genesis chapter 49, verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow.
Joseph, which once again is Ephraim, it says Joseph is a fruitful bow. Go ahead.
Even a fruitful bow by a well.
Right. If you have a fruitful bow of a tree that's by a well, what's gonna happen, man? It's gonna grow. That tree gonna be everywhere, man. All right. It's gonna sprout out. All right. Go ahead.
Even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall.
Whose branches run over the wall. All right, and that ain't talking about nobody else except for Ephraim. That's why you have something called the Arawak and the Taino Indians. And when they were in, you had the bulk of them that was in Puerto Rico, but really they was really everywhere, because you had some of them that was in the island of Hispaniola, which today is the Dominican Republic and Haiti. So they were everywhere, and when Columbus's men came there, they were like, you could fit most of the people in the world on this island, because it's like everybody was there, man. They seen more people on that island than anywhere in the world, man. And that showed you that Esau killed a lot of our people, because out of all them millions of people, you probably had like I want to say 500,000 of them left. Out of all the slaughter that he did, man. Okay, go ahead.
Hosea chapter 9, verse 13. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place.
Right.
But Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murder.
Right. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place. That pleasant place is Puerto Rico. All right. But then it says he shall bring forth his children to the murderer. That's America. All right, because our people, they getting killed over here. Even worse, man, because Ephraim in the ghettos too, man. All right.
Yep.
But at the same time, Esau slaughtered them the most on them islands, man. Okay, go ahead out. And you have this picture here. If you can get it on camera, you have this picture, which is showing a Spaniard. Let's see if I can get it. It's showing a Spaniard, but he's right here. He's taking one of the Taino babies, and he's gonna smash it against this rock right here, man. And then he was hanging Ephraim 13 at a time, and they want to act like they Christians, saying they was doing it in the name of the Lord and his 12 disciples. Y'all the damn devil, man. And then you see Esau got him burning, man. He got him hanging over fire, man. Why he hanging him? All right, so y'all gonna pay for that, man. Okay, go ahead. You, jump back to
Genesis or what?
Yeah, finish Genesis.
Genesis 49, verse 23. Well, I'll start back at 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. Right. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him.
Right. Those archers are the conquistadors, man, and the Spaniards. Okay, so this is history, man, and this happened around the 14 and 1500s, man. So who else is that talking about? Explain to us. And another thing too, another question we got: if the so-called Puerto Ricans and the so-called Mexicans and the other Spanish-speaking tribes, if they're not Israelites, explain to us and do it thoroughly. Explain to us who the tribes are, and don't just say black people.
Even better yet, jump into the book of Hosea when it talks about Ephraim is joined unto idols.
Yeah. Who is that?
What's the biggest religion on the face of the planet? The Roman Catholic Church.
Yep.
What particular group of people have taken upon that so-called religion?
Exactly.
It's not the so-called white man.
But I can bring this out. Then it also said Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Yep.
So you have the dark-skinned Ephraimites, the light-skinned Ephraimites.
Light-skinned, yep.
So I guess the dark-skinned Ephraimites are Israelites, but the light-skins are heathens.
According to what these niggas believe, you know, you niggas retarded. Y'all reprobates, all right? Because you will say this one thing. You will say that well they all black. Basically, I guess you trying to say we Africans, or that the tribe's Africans. I mean, you niggas gotta die, man. So according to the scriptures, everything that we bringing now is the truth, man. Because these descriptions and these prophecies don't fit nobody else. And the Lord in Revelation the 5th chapter, the Most High he gave the book to Yahawah, and it was unsealed, man. So it's unsealed in these times. So that means everything is revealed. Who the tribes are, who we are, all right. Who they are, all right. So you can't get around it. Okay, go ahead, brother.
But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob.
Right, and that's the reason why Esau wasn't able to destroy them all, man. Because the Most High preserved them. So even though you might go over there today, and you might see a lot of them that's dark, you might see a lot of them that's light, but that's Ephraim, because you had Esau after he got through destroying so many of the Taínos and Arawak Indians. What he did, he brought a lot of Judah, Benjamin, and Levites from West Africa, and put them in slavery down there. But what happened is they mixed, you know. So you had Ephraim that mixed with Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and you had Ephraim that mixed with Esau. So that's the reason why you have a lot of them that's dark and you have a lot of them that's light, you know. But they still Israel. And it's not determined about how you look. It's about the seed, man. Who your father is. And that's how we know who they are, man. Really by the spirit, you know. By the spirit they have. Go ahead, Al.
And the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel.
Right, that's it on that. Go back to Deuteronomy.
What was it, 20?
Right, because basically what we're going to do, we're bringing out scriptures, and then we're going to go into some historical facts to further expound. But you see, we're starting out with the scriptures first. So you dummies can't say, well, they ain't reading out the Bible, because all you dudes do is quote, man. And then you quote wrong. But we going to go into scriptures, and then we're going to get the documentation to further explain it.
And what chapter it was again?
33.
What verse? I can't remember where I was.
14.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we left off at 17.
17, okay, slide.
Deuteronomy 33:17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth.
Right, and when you go into the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, that's what happened. You had the northern tribes. They came over here, man. All right, and it says 10 tribes, but really it was 9 tribes. But it says 10 because you had some Levites that went with them, because the Levites were the priests. All right. But you had Ephraim that was leading the other 8 tribes. Okay, go ahead.
He shall push the people together to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh.
Right.
Continue.
Yeah, keep going.
And of Zebulun, he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out.
Now Zebulun, those are the so-called Guatemalans to Panama, that region. And you have another prophecy. Wait, can you read that part again?
Yeah. And Zebulun, he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out.
Right.
And Issachar in thy tents.
Right, because you had what's called the Mayan and the Aztec Empire. and they built. Well, it was a gigantic civilization, man. That the Spaniards, that's something else they destroyed. They destroyed the Mayan and the Aztec civilizations, but they had what was called the pyramid altars, where they would sacrifice to the sun. I mean, when they first made the pyramids, they would sacrifice to the Most High, but the sacrifices turned wicked. You know, well, it's gonna prove it. Yep, it's the next verse, I believe.
Verse 19. They shall call the people unto the mountain.
Into the mountain. Those are the pyramids, and I have some pictures here. Give me a second. Some pictures of how they look. I mean, you can look it up for yourself. You can just type in Mexican pyramids, pyramids in Guatemala. But these are like replicas. You think you can pan the camera on it? Yeah, these are like replicas of them. I only got one picture. Shit. Okay, what's that? Basically, like just showing you the pyramids they had, but they used to sacrifice on them. Can you read the scripture?
They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand.
Right, because when our people first came over here, they had the laws. They was practicing the law. It tells you that they were still rehearsing the laws of the Most High. They was trying to do it in another land because they didn't do it when they was back in Israel. Can you give me 2nd Ezra 13 and 40? Because whether y'all want to believe it or not, man, they are the Israelites, okay? And like I was going to say earlier, it's another scripture that said Zebulon's dwelling shall be at the haven of the sea, and it's spiritual because who was Zebulon when Esau first came to the Western Hemisphere? They were the Mayans, and the word Mayan that goes back to the Hebrew word Mayim, which means waters, and they dwelt in that region, and today that's where you have the Panama Canal, all right. So that's where that tribe will be centralized in what you call Central America today, all right. Go ahead, brother.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Right. Those are the 10 tribes. Those 10 tribes will be the Lord gathering together another peaceable multitude. All right. Because even today, we already recognize Judah, Benjamin, Levi, knowing that they're Israelites. But what about the other 9 tribes? Okay? Who you call Latinos and Native Americans. The Lord gonna gather them too. That's why Yahawah said, of the sheep I have which are not of this fold, them I must bring also, and they shall be one fold in my hand. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Right,
and that's actual history. Okay, you can read about that in 2 Kings the 17th chapter, and you can even read about it in the Assyrians' history, the history of certain Assyrian kings, which we're not going to go into that today. That's a lot of information, man. Maybe another lesson. But it's a book out there. It's called Ancient Records of Assyria and Babylon, and it's by a man named David Lukenbill. You can look it up, and it tells you in that book that the Assyrians took down Israel, man, and they brought them to their land. And it was about like 4 deportations. It was about 4 trips. You had Tiglath-Pileser, Shalmaneser, Sargon. So you had different Assyrian kings that was taking them away captive, man. All right, and they even took them to, and it said in that book, they took them to Media. All right, just like it talks about in the book of Tobit, man. So everything lines up. But the scriptures, it tells you what happened after that. It tells you that they went there when you read in 2 Kings, but then it tells you what happened after that in the Apocrypha. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Right, he carried them over the Euphrates and the Tigris and brought them to Assyria, which today you call Iraq. He brought them to that area. All right, go ahead.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
That they would lead them damn Assyrians, that put them in slavery. Go ahead.
And go forth into a further country,
America,
where never mankind dwelt.
Right, because you had Solomon's sellers. They were coming over here, gathering certain resources, certain animals for Solomon and bringing them back. But they didn't live here. And the proof they came over here, you have what's called the Olmecs, which are these big ass, gigantic Hamite heads, you know. That's proof they came over here. And they even have certain inscriptions inscribed in what's called Canaanite writing, which really is Hebrew writing, you know, writing their about their journeys, man. How they, you know, what they went through coming over here, how they caught hell in their ships, and hey, man, it's out there, man. You just gotta look it up. Stop being lazy, man. We looked it up. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes.
In America, go ahead.
Which they never kept in their own land.
Right. Go ahead.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
And that's not something that's impossible, because the Most High was always showing signs to Israel. And you had the tribe of Issachar. They knew how to read the constellations, man. That was one of their gifts. So this isn't something that you just can't conceive, unless the Spirit of the Lord is not dealing with you. You're not gonna get it. Go ahead. Are you about to say something?
For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they would pass over.
Right.
For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
Right. It took them a year and a half to get over here. And it's further proof that goes into that's how long it takes to get over here, because Solomon's sellers, it took them 3 years just to get to this side of the world and to get back to Israel. It took them 3 years. So that all matches up. You got it? Oh, go ahead.
1 Kings chapter 10 verse 21. And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon.
And we're going to go right back to that in the kingdom of heaven.
For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory, and apes and peacocks.
And apes and peacocks are native to the Americas, mainly South America, and that's where they got them from. Go ahead.
2 Ezra chapter 13 verse 45. For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth,
which means another country. Go ahead.
Then dwelt they there until the latter time.
They dwell here to the latter time. They here today. You know? Hey, man, it's plain, man. Go ahead.
And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace.
Right. And basically the Lord is going to beam them up. The Lord is going to beam us up, beam up the tribes by what you call UFOs, man. All right? He's going to stay the springs, because this time we're not going to be delivered how we were in ancient Egypt. You know? As far as like walking through the Red Sea. Now this deliverance is going to be greater, man. The Lord is actually going to beam us up by what you call UFOs.
You can get that in Jeremiah 16.
Yeah, you get, yep.
Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that no more be sad. The Most High liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Right, so we're not going to talk about that no more. We're still talking about it today, but we're not going to talk about it after the Lord does this. Go ahead.
But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
From North America. Go ahead.
And from all the lands whither he had driven them.
Right, because you have Central America, you have Mexico, you have South America. But guess what, you stupid niggas? The Lord scattered Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. Even though like we go into the 12 tribe sign, and the tribes are mainly in the Western Hemisphere, but you have Israelites in East India. You have Israelites, some of them still in Africa. Israelites in Europe, Israelites in Russia. So wherever the elect of Israel are, the Lord is going to gather us, man. Okay, go ahead, brother.
And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
Which is the land of Israel. All right? So can you go back to Deuteronomy 33?
You just want to pick up where we left off?
Yeah, just pick up where we left off.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 19. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of treasures hid in the sand.
What, can you read that again?
Yeah. They shall call the people unto the mountain.
Right, and that mountain, like we just showed the pictures, are the pyramids in Mexico and in Guatemala. All right. So you had those tribes, Issachar and Zebulun. They were connected, man. All right, and you have movies like Apocalypto that prove it. You know, history proves it, man. So you had the elders of the Mayans. They were actually Issachar, man. Even the Mayans themselves, that's the tribe of Zebulun. But the elders of the Mayans, those are the ones that made that calendar, and the Lord gave that gift to Issachar. So that's why I said, rejoice Zebulun and going out, and Issachar in our tents. So Issachar was with Zebulun. All right, go ahead.
There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness,
right?
For they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand.
Right, and they had all kind of gold and silver and precious stones in their land, man. You know, before the damn devil Esau came, the so-called white man. All right. You can keep reading.
Verse 20. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated, and he came with the heads of the people. He executed the judgment of the Lord and his judgments with Israel.
Right. Now, that proves that Gad are the so-called Native Americans, because it says, blessed is he that enlarged Gad. Gad had the largest portion of land. Not only North America, but they also had Canada. All right. So they got the biggest portion of land out of all the tribes. All right. And it says that what's it? The tear of the crown.
Yeah, and he provided the first part for himself. Oh, let me start the time. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
Right. So you had a lot of them. They had different markings on them, and they also had crowns. They had these feathered crowns. That's why you seen them with those eagle feathers on their heads. All right, and those were the greatest warriors out of the tribes. All right, and really, this lesson is mainly on the so-called Latinos being Israel, but we gonna talk about Gad too, because it's still the Northern Kingdom. You know, can you give me a Genesis? That's like scratch that. Give me 1 Corinthians 2:10, and we're finna get into some history, man, and also the curses. We gonna get it all, man. Can you you just gonna basically just go down the list, just
with the scriptures.
Yeah, with the curses, and
where we gonna start?
in Hosea 6. But everything, I got certain lines by everything. I'm just gonna just get it all, how it's all connected. Go ahead, brother.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10. But the Most High hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of the Most High.
Right, so the Most High revealed these things unto us by his Spirit. That's how we know the so-called Native Americans, the so-called Latinos, are Israelites. That's how we know it. Go ahead.
For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him?
Right?
Even so the things of the Most High knoweth no man but the Spirit of the Most High.
Exactly. So this is not the spirit of man that we have. We have the Spirit of the Most High. That's how we can break this stuff down. See, what y'all don't understand, this is the knowledge of the heavens. It came from the heavens. All right? And the Most High gave it to the elders. Then the Most High gave it to us. And now we're giving it to you. Those of you that are a part of your elect. Go ahead.
Now we have received not the spirit of the world.
Yeah, Native Americans and Latinos, not Israelites. That's the spirit of the world, man. We was taught that already, all right? But now we have the truth. Now we know they're Israelites. Go ahead.
But the Spirit which is of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High.
Which is this truth. All right, that's all I want on that. Can you give me the scripture, Hosea?
Hosea 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Hosea 6 and 8. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity, and is polluted with blood.
Let me make sure that's it. Salaki, I wanted Ephraim to join the idols. That was my bad. That's 7 and 8.
Okay.
Oh, Salaki, that's 4 and 17. Dang. Salaki, go ahead, brother.
Hosea 7 and 8.
4 and 17.
Alright. Hosea 4 and 17. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone.
Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. All right? When it's saying Ephraim, it's talking about the northern kingdom in general. All right? So-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Ricans. And I have this book here. It's the National Geographic. Okay? And on page 54, it says troubled spirits. It says in Mexico, the harsh realities of daily life have elevated unholy saints who now stand beside traditional icons. And as you look here, it has so-called Latinos holding up images of St. Jude, which is a damn cracker. St. Jude didn't look like that, but here you see it. Ephraim is joined the idols. Okay, you can't get around that. They going hard, man. Can you read it again up?
All right. Hosea 4 and 17. What's a lot? Yeah. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone.
Ephraim is joined to idols. Then it says, let him alone. So let him do what he does, basically, man. And you have an Issachar right here. He's kissing Saint Death, man. Well, that's what they call it. They call it Santa Muerte, which is Saint Death. And I think they celebrate that every year around November 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. It's the Day of the Dead.
I have the Merriam-Webster's definition for idol. It says, a representation or symbol of an object of worship, broadly a false god.
Right, and here you see it. They worshiping false gods, man. You have Issachar right here, who's a drug dealer. He's praying to Saint Death, and he's blowing smoke to basically get blessings, man. Because you have something in Mexico. You have the mafia down there, man, and they're real serious about what they doing down there, man. So they praise these idols, and they think they getting blessings from it, man. Okay.
And even when you go into Ephraim house, so-called Mexican house, they literally have a shrine with candles lit around it. They got Jesus Cristo sitting to the left. Yep. They got La Guadalupe, a full-figure statue. You know what I mean? They got Saint Thomas. They got Saint this, Saint that. They got La Guadalupe tattooed upon their body, man. Those are those people. no one else in the world goes as hard in religion as the so-called Hispanics do in Roman Catholicism. The so-called white man doesn't go that hard in Roman Catholicism.
What does Roman Catholicism go back to? It goes back to the pagan gods in Rome.
That's why the scriptures say that Ephraim is given unto idols. Let him alone, because the Most High is gonna make his move upon them when he wakes up the mass of them in due time. Right now, the Most High has a few brothers from here and there who he's giving his knowledge to.
Yeah, don't worry.
And then the fact of the matter is, man, no. Por ejemplo, estoy aprendiendo el español, okay? And when I'm amongst so-called Hispanics, the vibe is the same.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they are spiritual people. And cause what is that in the book of Romans? I lost my train of thought. They have the zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge.
Exactly.
Their zeal is that the so-called white man is God. All right, but the Most High revealed the truth unto the elect in these last days.
Yep.
And before the end, when it's all said and done, the Most High is gonna fully reveal this thing on a 100% all out level, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What little dude say, man? Shots fired! Shots fired!
Man, the Most High gonna melt you, man. All right, you gonna be fired. Mills is gonna fire your ass. Can you give me those scriptures?
Isaiah 9:20.
Because basically, what's happening now is the curses. All right, the reason why you have niggas out there that don't want the so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Dominicans, etc., to be the tribes is because of the curses, man. Scripture said that your eyes shall be evil towards your brother.
Those are the same people who were mad. Who were mad in the parable was in the book of Matthew 25th chapter about the penny.
Yep.
Those are those guys who want it all for themselves.
Yeah.
You're basically just a hater, man. You're a hater of the Most High. You're a hater of the Lord's people.
Mm-hmm.
You're a hater of yourself, really.
Yep.
And then how can you have this image, this facade set upon you to where nobody else deserves it but you?
But you know what? You basically lost that oil, man.
Yep.
You now you're judging things by face value. Different from those Israelites that look at a bright skinned person like Elder Tahar and say he must be a heathen.
Right.
Stupid.
And then to say, and right now we're talking to this nigga Batach.
Right.
And for to say something as simple as, oh, Ariana, you going into slavery, and you basing it just upon him being a light skinned Puerto Rican, man.
Stupid motherfucker, man.
Which taught you, man.
Yep.
You wouldn't even know about who going into what slavery. Nigga, you probably was some gang bang nigga in Chicago before the truth, man.
Yeah.
All I know is you was in the military or something, man.
Yeah, well, the nigga, he was so-called gang banging, but fuck you and fuck them gangs, man. And that's the reason why you didn't believe, you really didn't believe in the first place. And the scriptures tell you were Antichrist. It says that you were Antichrist, but it says that if they were of us, they would continue with us. But then they went out from us, it might be manifest they were not of us. So fuck you, fuck Troy. Yeah, I ain't gonna call him Ariel, but
Fuck boy, man.
Yeah, fuck you niggas, man.
That's right, man. Y'all meant to be together, man. Like everybody always say, we a match made in hell, man. Y'all meant for each other, man.
You know what?
From the beginning, because I remember the phone calls years ago, man, when that guy Troy was bucking up against the other tribes, man, with the brother down here, and it was you, Batach, who was always the mediator between those two. Yeah, brother, he just don't fully understand it right now. But now you done took sides with the nigga, man.
Yeah.
But you that person, I guess you'll say that was before you knew. You was brainwashed then. No, nigga, you were lost, and then you found the truth, and now your ass lost again, man.
Yeah. But like it says in Jude, you're twice dead, plucked up from the roots.
That nigga died twice.
He died twice. Go ahead, brother.
Isaiah 9:20. And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand.
Right, and it's talking about our people devouring each other. like cannibalism, but it's spiritual. You know. Go ahead.
And they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm.
Exactly. That's that hatred. That's that enmity in the tribes. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Manasseh, Ephraim, and Manasseh.
Right. Ephraim and Manasseh against each other. Go ahead.
And they together shall be against Judah.
And then Ephraim and Manasseh against Judah. So that's that strife and that hatred, you know, that variance in the tribes, man. But the Lord is breaking that up in these last days, man. His elect that He's gathering together is saying fuck that shit, man. You know, if you was on that shit in the world, you come to this truth, fuck that shit, man. All right, go ahead.
For all this, His anger is not turned away, but His hand is stretched out still.
It was the Most High's anger going into those curses that the reason why we were like that, you know. But now, come back to this truth. You a new creature now, man. You wake up. You give me the other one, Zechariah.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's talking about. It's talking about the curses, man. And after we get these scriptures, we're gonna go into some history. We're not gonna get it all. This thing, man, it might be an ongoing series, you know, a couple more series. But go ahead, brother.
Zechariah 11 and 14. Then I cut asunder my other staff, even bands, that I may break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
Right, and that's what the Most High said. All right? Certain things that the Most High had the prophets do was symbolizing what the Most High was finna do. And the Most High just said, can you read it again?
Zechariah 11 and 14. Then I cut asunder my other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
And that's what the Most High did. The Most High broke the brotherhood between Judah and Israel, man. That's the reason why we speak in different languages, can't understand each other. That's the reason why so-called Negro get mad at so-called Mexican. He got a job before him, or whatever the case, or saying the so-called Mexicans taking all the jobs, and you had the so-called Puerto Rican mad at so-called Mexican, you know? I mean, it's enmity in all the tribes, but you really got that enmity between the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Latino kings, gangsters.
Yeah. You got Latin. I'm glad you said that. You got the Latin kings.
Yeah.
Which is funny in a way. I mean, fuck that gang shit. But you have a lot of Mexicans that are Latin kings. But the Latin kings, you know who it was started by? It was started by a so-called Cuban, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it showed you. It shows you kind of how the Most High does like order, because you had Puerto Ricans in it first, and then the Mexicans came in it, you know.
I hand me that book right there. Yeah.
But you know, it's all the curses, man. Oh yeah, the curses going into that gang banging shit. You had so-called Negroes that was gang banging, but then the so-called Latinos got into it, man.
So like, bro, why aren't East Indians gang banging in America? Why aren't Arabs and Africans gang banging in America?
Exactly. It's plain, man. Matter of fact, you have a lot of so-called Mexican gangs, man, and just gangs in general. But you have what's called Mata Salvatrucha, all right, which is the MS-13. You have 2-6. You have La Raza. All right, those gangs, you know, I knew about when I was living in Chicago, but and there's many more, man. Like brother said, Latin kings, and they killing each other just like you fucking niggas killing each other, man. So you can't fucking tell us they ain't the tribes, man. The Most High he got a damn missile for every last one of you niggas, man. And like brother Bun just said, the Most High gonna have them same people that you hate come and chase your ass, man. And ain't nothing worse being chased down by your enemies, man.
The person,
you know,
someone used for a footstool.
Yep.
You know what I mean? A person that you stepped upon, spit upon, despised. The Most High always used that so-called tail to take out the head.
Yep.
And right now you the head, nigga, because you proud and sitting up high.
Yep. And I said your enemies, but I mean they are people. But I mean you hate them, so in that day they're gonna be your enemy.
Yeah,
man.
they considered your enemy.
Yep.
You call them heathens.
Exactly. So you naming it. All right. And I'm gonna get a couple things in this book and some other facts historical facts and records. Because can you give me that in Revelation? The earth helped the woman. Because you niggas like to say, well, we getting these books from the so-called white man. Well, motherfucker, we not archaeologists. The Most High didn't give us the power and the money and the different materials to go out there and dig this stuff up. You know?
The scripture says the so-called white man is wiser than Daniel. Only a fool.
Yep.
Only a fool.
Yep.
Okay, if you hungry and just because the devil fixed you a plate and he got some unclean food here and some clean food there, wouldn't you know to separate the unclean and eat the clean?
Exactly.
The same way when you get information, so the so-called white man put out correct information, accurate information.
Yep.
You got good information, you got bad information, disinformation.
Yep.
You got to be able to decipher between the two. But you blatantly shut it down and say the so-called white man wrote that book. That's when you become a fool, man, because you despise the wisdom, man.
Well, you had the guy that wrote from Babylon to Timbuktu. He was a straight up Israelite, but he was going off in some of those things, man.
Yeah, he was going off.
He was an Israelite.
Yep. Go ahead, brother.
This is Revelations 12 and 16. And the earth helped the woman.
And the earth helped the woman. Now, that's talking about archaeology. As a matter of fact, the word archaeology, when you look it up, you got the word arche, which means ancient or origin or earth. And you have the word ology, which means the study of. So it means the study of the ancient or the study of the earth. All right? Go ahead, brother.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Right.
So through this archaeology, it's basically eating all them lies up, man. It's swallowing all those lies up. And it's helping the woman, and the woman is Israel. And in this case, the woman is the elect of Israel. All right, so we have this book here. I want you to read it for me. It's called Origins of the American Indians. And it's by Lee Eldridge Huddleston. And it's a pretty good book, man. And it brings out a lot of good points, but we're just going to hit some main points. Because right now, I want to focus on the tribe of Issachar, which during the 1400s and 1500s, they were known as the Aztecs. All right? So can you read the second paragraph?
Suarez de Peralta interpreted this to mean that the 10 tribes taken captive by Shalmaneser had escaped to a land called Arsareth.
Well, all right, go ahead.
This Arsareth was obviously near America, and some of the Jews...
hold on, brother. Guess what? That Arsareth was America, and this devil knew that. You know? So you got Esau, he knows this, but he's conceiving in his mind like, man, maybe I could try to twist it some way. Because they knew, man.
That serpent trying to
yeah,
through the doctrine, man.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yep.
And what else is near America?
Go ahead, brother.
This Arsareth was obviously near America, and some of the Jews had migrated to it. He supported this conclusion by citing 1949, the similarity of the certain Aztec words of Hebrew words.
Wait a minute, the similarity of certain Aztec words to Hebrew words. So the Aztecs were speaking Hebrew. They were speaking a broken dialect, a broken form of Hebrew, man. All right, go ahead.
And by claiming both peoples had similar idolatries.
So you can't get around it. That's them. All right, because we read in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, that in America they're gonna try to keep their laws they didn't keep in their own land. But what happened? They were here for a long time, man. And they were, this flesh already wicked. They was already, used to going off from when they was living in Israel. So they went back to doing the same stuff, man. All right? Sacrificing their own people and our people, ruling over our other people. You had some of our people that was becoming kings and basically were unruly, and being kind of like, I guess, I don't want to use the word dictators, but I mean, they were like that. Basically putting hell on our other people, and you had that going down, man. A lot of idolatry, worshiping the sun, worshiping the moon, worshiping animals. All right, but it didn't start off that way. But the point is, they're Israelites, man, and they're still here today. They're not extinct. Okay, can get another page? Yeah, because we just gonna hit the main points, man. It's a lot of history, so we just trying to give out as much as we can. All right. Can you read this part where it says Garcia? Right here, and this is on page 69.
Garcia himself testified to the popularity of the theory among the common people of America, who, he said, thought the Indians descended from the tribes of Hebrews lost in the captivity of Shalmaneser.
There you go again, and now it's talking about all of them, because it said in the Americas. All right, so that's not just talking about the Aztecs. It's talking about all the so-called Indian tribes. Because you had Gad here, you had the Mayans, you had the Incas, you had the Taino Indians, Arawaks. All right, but so all those different so-called native Indian tribes, he's saying that they're Hebrews, man. Go ahead.
They based their belief in the condition, nature, and customs of the Indians, which they thought similar to the condition, nature, and customs of the Hebrews.
Right, because they were keeping some of the same customs. They had garments with fringes on them and borders of blue. A lot of them didn't eat pork. They didn't commit adultery. They had a festival of booths going back to when Israel came out of Egypt. Had different tents. And they knew the Most High's name. They called him Yahawah, and that's in history. Matter of fact, we got that here, but we don't got to get it because we just getting so much, man. All right, we might bring it out anyway. You know, since I'm saying it. But it's so much history, man. All right, and yeah, and right here it says many writers identified our Sareth as America. So I mean, it's really y'all just not gonna get it anyway. But we bringing this out for the sincere brothers that want to know this truth. All right, this is gonna be the last thing we get out this book. This is on page 88. You get the green paragraph for me.
The only other writer this author found who accepted the Issachar variation of the 10 lost tribes theory was Balthasar de Medina in his Crónica de la Santa Provincia de San Diego de Mexico in 1682. Although Medina thought the South Americans and Yucatanians were descendants of the Gentile Iecten, father of Ophir, the Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Shalmaneser.
What?
And of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognized as their special ancestor.
You can't get it right. Can you read that again, brother?
Although Medina thought the South Americans and Yucatanians were descendants of the Gentile Iecten, father of Ophir, the Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Shalmaneser and of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognized as their special ancestor.
Right. So that's another reason why the Spaniards and conquistadors destroyed the records of the Aztecs, because the Aztecs had in their documents and certain hieroglyphs they had that they were Issachar, man. All right, so you know, I mean, obviously, if you don't want this to come out, you're gonna try to destroy it as much as you can. But we just read that prophecy, the earth helping the woman, so the information's still gonna come out. You can't destroy it all, man. And that's what Esau tried to do, but he wasn't successful. Okay? You got something?
No. Check it out. This is the
it went off. So it's plain, man. Right. And matter of fact, here, this is a garment from which tribe is this?
Peruvian.
This is a Peruvian. This is a Peruvian garment, and it has fringes on it, man. I mean, it's plain, man. Like, really, it's just after a while, man. I mean, come on, you know? It's a garment with fringes on it, man. Okay? So that's plain. All right, so, I mean, you niggas, man, the truth just ain't for you.
I can bring up this quick precept right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 22:12. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. So, plain.
Yeah, that's the prophecy. And I'm gonna get two more things. We just gonna wrap it up, cause really, I mean, the reason why we're doing this, cause the Lord commands us to break down these strongholds. You know, so you know we might do another show on it, or just go into something related to it. But if you can't get it, you're not gonna get it anyway. All right. But what you do? Read this for me. This is out the book Lost Tribes in Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders, and you can start at let's see what it says. They are Hebrews. I'm gonna just get to the point though. Start at what it says, waving a banner.
Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal,
So like it started at the top, because I see what it says.
blessed be the name of the Lord, who has not made me an idolater, a barbarian, a Negro, an Indian. When suddenly be stopped those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews. Pondering this thought incredulously, and yet with growing conviction.
Right, because he didn't want to believe it, but it's going to be so much proof that he can't doubt it. You know. Go ahead.
He resolved that if he ever was released, he would seek out the Indian Francisco and try to learn the truth. Montezino's story, unclear as to the circumstances of his incarceration, is equally unclear as to those of his release. But released he was, and he immediately went to Francisco, revealing himself as a Jew. Montesinos proclaimed his conviction that Francisco's hidden people were of the same race as he.
Right, because the so-called Negroes and the so-called, what you call so-called Latinos today, which are descendants of these so-called native people, we're the same people. All right. That's why when we explain the 12 tribes sign, we say people of Negroid and Indian descent of the Americas. All right. Go ahead.
The two men were soon back in the rugged mountains in which Francisco had made his initial revelation, marching relentlessly for a week before they finally came to a halt. It was a Saturday. Montesinos makes a point of telling us, and they had come to a river larger than the Duero. Are there echoes of the Sambaton in all of this? Here, Francisco announced, is where your brothers will be seen. Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared, bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing at the water's edge.
Right.
The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Ahad.
What she said, she spoke in the Hebrew. She spoke in the Hebrew, and she said, Shema Yasharala, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power, the Lord is one. I have to look at the paper again, but she spoke it in the Hebrew. Okay, so it's really, I mean, come on, man. You know, really, it's like after a while, it's beating a dead horse. Can you read that again? What she said in the Hebrew?
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Right, Shemaiah, Shirala,
Shema
Adonai. That's the word Lord. It's supposed to be out the one, and then it says Elohim. That's not the Most High's name. So we were saying Yahawah.
The Lord our power.
The Lord our power, right? And the Lord is one. Okay, go ahead, brother.
They have recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism. A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue, according to Montezinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as is that of his three mysterious new companions. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
Right, and this took place in Florida. Okay, and it says that the tribe of Joseph, which is the tribe of Ephraim, which was going into earlier, was on an island nearby. That island is Puerto Rico. All right, go ahead.
The day when they were at last to issue forth into the world was coming soon, they explained, but in the meantime, they could not allow visitors to cross over to them. They were willing to make an exception in the near future, however, on account of their need for education, but though they spoke Hebrew, they could not read or write it. Would Montezinos send them 12 bearded men to be their teachers? He said he would. The 4 strangers returned to their canoe, paddled back across the river, and disappeared from view.
Go ahead.
Francisco told Montezinos all he knew about these people from his own traditions. His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on them and persecuted them.
Right, the so-called white man persecuted our people, man. You know? Go ahead.
Only the sorcerers of his tribe had perceived that they were a special people and had given warning that they should be left alone. The God of these children of Israel is the true God.
Right.
They had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true.
Right, so we had tablets with things inscribed on them proving what we're talking about. Go ahead.
At the end of days, they will be lords of all the nations of the earth. One nation will come bringing many things to this land, and after we have all been provided for, these children of Israel will go forth from where they now are and reign over the whole earth.
What, and you know what? And this is the reason why on Amazon.com this book costs so damn much, man. Esau don't want this information getting out. Esau knows that we're gonna rule the world, man. All right. And this is what the sorcerers was talking about. Because if you're a sorcerer, you have a connection to the spirit world, man. And you know the truth. Okay. So Esau, you had different writers, different Englishmen and of the Spaniards that was writing in their logs about how we're the Israelites, man, about how the so-called natives are Israelites. And this is gonna be the last thing I get here. This is the what's called the Los Lunas 10 Commandment Stone. And you can look it up on the web. It's other things out there too, man, but this is just one of them. And this was found in New Mexico, and it has the 10 Commandments on it inscribed in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Okay? So my question is this: if this was found here in America and the so-called Native Americans live in America, who are they? Okay? And on the same website where I got that from, this is on page 17. Well, I'm gonna read this at the top. It says, oldest known 10 Commandments is in America in ancient Hebrew script. And I'm gonna skip down to the middle paragraph. It says, among the words that were nearly identical to the Hebrew were they say Yahawah, but they were saying Yahawah. That's what the so-called Native Americans was calling the Most High. And Hallelujah or Hallelujah, similarly in the mid-1600s, reports of Hebrew-speaking Indians in South America first came to the attention of Europeans. So this not even just Gad. These are the tribes that's in South America, man, which would be Naphtali and Asher. Okay. So it says they were speaking Hebrew, and they were calling the Most High's name Yahawah. All right. But if you look at a book, it's by James Adair. What's the name of the book?
Oh man, History of the American Indians.
Yeah, History of the American Indians by James Adair. He says that the Native Americans were calling the Most High Yahawah, man.
You know, it was pretty much spelled out like that.
Yep. So it's there you go. And I'm gonna read a little bit more. It says, as in North America, not only did the Europeans discover many strong similarities between the spoken languages of the Indians and the Hebrew language, they also reported seeing inscriptions written in Hebrew and a very strong similarity between Indian customs and Israelite practices. And it goes on, man. I mean, this is a long list of things. But the point is, man, is that they're Israelites, man. They're Israelites, and you just can't get around it.
Like the elder said, you can't get it, fuck you, man.
Yeah, if you can't get it, fuck you, man.
Excuse my French.
Nah, you don't gotta,
yeah, but that's the truth, man.
Yeah.
The Spirit got on the brothers to break it down thoroughly, man. Thoroughly. So if you can't get it, you're not supposed to get it.
Yep.
If our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Yep. So with that, hope you brothers learned something. I mean, we might do a couple follow-ups with this or just one more. But that's plain, man. The so-called Native Americans, so-called Latinos, well, the lesson was the so-called Latinos and Hispanics, but also the Native Americans are Israelites, man. You know? So like the brother said, if you can't get it, fuck you, man. Just like the elders were saying, you know? All right, so we like to give all praise to Yahawah, Yawahshi, double honors to the elders that rule well, which are the elders of GMS, and honors to you brothers out there doing the work. Shalom.
Very, very good lesson.
Not the water.